Ethan remained still, unbothered. He glanced at Daniel. Daniel smirked, turning to the staff. Should I call your boss personally? Whoever drags them out with the most enthusiasm will be rewarded. The servers, who had been reluctant moments ago, snapped into action. Daniel Kelly's reputation in California was undeniable, and no one wanted to cross him. The women's protests went ignored as the servers grabbed them. Ruth, Sophia, and Lucinda, all impeccably dressed, were unceremoniously dragged toward the door. Their hair became disheveled, shoes went flying, and Sophia's expensive dress tore on a decorative flower bed. Susan and Helen stood frozen, watching with wide eyes and slack jaws. Kneeling before them, Manager Lauren pleaded, his voice trembling. Miss Drew, Miss Jones, I've made a terrible mistake. Please forgive me. Don't report this to my boss. I beg you. Susan's gaze flickered toward Ethan. Seeing that he remained silent, she responded evenly. How lucky we are that young Master Kelly stepped in. Otherwise, we'd have been the ones dragged out like that. In that case, I wouldn't have forgiven you so easily. Daniel's grin widened. No need for you to lift a finger. I'll handle it. Their boss will hear about this. Manager Lauren collapsed onto the floor, pale and trembling. Helen, clearly delighted by the turn of events, turned toward Susan. Seeing her friend standing silently beside Ethan, she couldn't resist. With a mischievous nudge, she shoved Susan forward. Off balance, Susan stumbled, straight into Ethan's chest. The scent of his cologne enveloped her, warm and subtle, yet undeniably captivating. For a split second, her mind blanked. She hadn't expected him to smell. This is good. Realizing her position, Susan jerked back, her face flushing. I'm sorry. It was an accident. Ethan's expression remained impassive, but his words carried a hint of dry humor. No need to explain. It's not the first time you've done this. Susan gawked at him, stunned. What are you talking about? I've never... Susan's words faltered as she caught Helen and Daniel watching her, both wearing identical expressions of barely concealed amusement. Daniel cleared his throat softly, a faint smile playing on his lips. It seems like fate has brought us all together tonight. How about we share a meal? What do you think? Helen's face brightened instantly, her eyes glimmering with enthusiasm. That sounds perfect. I was just thinking we should have a toast to thank you for stepping in and helping us out. Daniel chuckled warmly, his tone light yet inviting. Well then, let's not wait any longer, shall we? With a graceful gesture, he motioned toward the dining area, his demeanor effortlessly charming. Helen glanced at Susan, her excitement evident in her voice. Come on, Susan. Let's not miss this chance to enjoy dinner together. Susan hesitated briefly, her gaze flickering toward Ethan, who stood silent and stoic. But with a quick nod to Helen, she fell in step with the group. All right, let's go, Daniel said, his voice calm and steady, as he led the way with a confident stride. As Helen and Daniel entered the restaurant, their lively conversation filled the air. Susan trailed behind, her mind reeling. How could Helen be so bold, marching ahead without even consulting her? Susan hesitated for a moment, glancing at Ethan for some sort of reassurance. But he didn't even glance her way. His sharp, composed figure moved forward, his hands casually tucked into the pockets of his trousers. Without a word or pause, He entered the restaurant, leaving Susan standing in his wake. Flustered, she hurried after him, unsure of how to approach the strange tension between them. A server soon led the four of them into a luxurious private room. The moment Susan stepped inside, she stopped in awe. The atmosphere was rich with intricate chandeliers, casting warm golden light over the high-end furnishings. Helen leaned in close, her excitement barely contained. "It's definitely your husband who booked this room," she whispered. "This is the Star Room, the most exclusive private space in the restaurant. Even my dad couldn't secure it last time." Susan blinked in disbelief. "Are you sure?" Helen nodded fervently. "Only people with a net worth of at least $10 billion can book this room. Your husband? He's full of surprises." Helen playfully pinched Susan's waist. "You know, for all your complaints about him, he's not so bad. After what happened yesterday, I expected him to freeze you out completely. But here he is, letting bygones be bygones and even lending a hand. Honestly, it's kind of impressive." Susan gave her a skeptical look. "Weren't you the one bad-mouthing him earlier?" Helen waved it off with a grin. "That was before I got a closer look. Who knew he'd turn out to be so attractive? Besides, he's Jacob's cousin. Just imagine the wealth and power he has. Jacob wouldn't stand a chance in comparison. And think about Sophia. She'd lose her mind with jealousy." At the mention of Sophia, Susan's lips curled into a faint smirk. The thought of unsettling her former rival was almost enough to lighten her mood. "What are you two whispering about over there?" Daniel's teasing voice cut through the room. Susan froze as she noticed both men watching her. Embarrassment flushed her cheeks as she stammered, Just grateful to be here. Thanks to both of you, I get to step into such a luxurious space." Daniel arched a brow, a sly grin playing on his lips. "Oh, I thought you were discussing Ethan's attractiveness." Susan nearly choked on her coffee, her face turning crimson. "You must be joking, young Master Kelly." Daniel chuckled, clearly amused. "Let's order some food." Ethan, who had been silently observing, picked up the menu and casually ordered 2 simple dishes before sliding it to the center of the table. Daniel gave the menu a spin until it landed in front of Susan. "Your turn, sister-in-law." Susan's breath hitched at the title, and she coughed violently in surprise. The sharp glint in Daniel's eyes made it clear that he already knew about her marriage to Ethan. Embarrassed, she muttered, "Don't call me that. It's temporary." Her gaze dropped to the menu. She noticed Ethan had chosen bland dishes, so she did the same, hoping not to draw attention. Helen, oblivious to the tension, blurted, "The grilled lamb chop here is amazing. It's spicy, but you love spicy food, don't you?" The room fell silent for a few seconds. Daniel's amused chuckle broke the stillness. "She's clearly being considerate of Ethan's preference for bland food. How thoughtful of her." Helen's brows shot up in surprise before she flashed a mischievous grin at Susan. Susan, now mortified, stammered, "That's not it. My stomach hasn't been feeling great lately." Helen patted her hand with faux sympathy. "No need to explain. We understand." Susan sighed heavily, her face burning with embarrassment. Her friend was truly a master at turning the tables on her. Ethan, who had been quiet, raised his lashes to glance at Susan. She was wearing a soft pink knitted top that highlighted the milky smoothness of her neck. Her face, now flushed, extended the blush to her delicate earlobes. He found his gaze lingering longer than intended, his eyes flickering briefly with something unreadable before he masked it behind a sip of coffee. Helen, ever the dramatist, pulled out her phone and began scrolling. "So, Susan, have you decided where you're renting? Here's one I found, $800 a month. It's not bad." Daniel's attention perked up. "Who's renting a place? What kind of apartment costs only $800? Helen sighed theatrically. "Susan, since she's no longer welcome with the Drew family, she's left with barely anything. She stayed in a budget hotel last night. No windows, sketchy bed linens, and people sliding suspicious cards under the door. It's dangerous." Susan sipped her coffee quietly, her head bowed to avoid attention. Ethan's brows furrowed slightly, the faintest sign of disapproval crossing his face. Daniel leaned back in his chair, shooting Ethan a pointed look. "Ethan, how could you let your wife stay somewhere like that? You're slacking on your responsibilities." Susan, sensing the brewing tension, took a breath and tried to lighten the mood. "It's my fault. I made mistakes." Ethan was right to be upset. Daniel started to reply, but Ethan cut him off with an icy tone. "Mistakes or not, your apology changes nothing." The sharpness of his words made Susan's heart sink. She had thought, perhaps foolishly, that Ethan's demeanor today hinted at reconciliation. Ethan's voice softened slightly, though his gaze remained cool. "If you're serious about making amends, you can take responsibility for my meals for the next week. Fresh, healthy food. Something worth the effort." Daniel choked on his water, laughing under his breath. "Well, that's one way to get a personal chef."
To listen to the full audio series, install the Pocket FM app now.